Welcome to the worst movie podcast in the world. This week we have looked at the movie Brazil from 1985. It was a weird and wacky journey. Brian lost his mind along the way. He's now a shell of a man. See, and Joe's like he's pissing again. So actually, I can't really say anything about that. Continue listening. It's great. There's all sorts of stuff that happen. There's cool visual effects. There's a guy who loses his mind. There's oligarchical, totalitarian societies where everyone's living in a bureaucratic hellscape. It's crazy. It's a hoot.
And the soup on dogs.
And there's a soup on a... yeah, we bring up soup and dogs at some point. What else? My internet cut out, and I have to go on
and special guest, ChatGPT.
Yeah, ChatGPT helped us out a little bit with this one. So yeah, continue listening. All right. This week I'm joined by Joe.
Hello.
There we go. And Ryan.
Buenos noches.
Yeah, and there was someone else, but our friend and guest star Jeevan, I'm pretty sure just didn't want to watch this film, so did not turn up.
Hashtag, we could have had Jason.
We could have had Jason. Or we could have had Chris. Chris was slathering, like literally like salivating at the chance to be on this podcast. I was like, no,
He wants
we have
to watch
Deadpool.
Not Deadpool. Daredevil.
Oh, the 2003 one? Yes, that'd be hilarious. Because that film is shit. Utter shit. It'd be great.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. It's like a so bad it's good.
You don't know. It could be.
That's
amazing.
What I've heard.
It could be as good as Blade. Cameron. Could be as good as Blade.
I mean, I heard Blade was good. At least the first one.
It goes hard.
The third one I heard was not very good though, because like
Cameron,
didn't like Wesley's
motherfuckers always try to ice skate uphill.
What?
I tried ice skate uphill.
Man.
Ice skate from Blade.
Right, we're going into the log lines. Fuck this. Right. Logline showdown. Who wants to start? I think Ryan should start, actually.
God, can you?
You have the logline, right, Ryan?
He came fully prepared, I heard.
I'm fully prepared, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I heard as well. That's through the grapevine.
Right. A film about a Sam, not Witwicky, trying to, not get a job off his mother, get there, off his own merit.
Mm-hmm.
All whilst engaging in just a cheeky little bit of necrophilia.
Hell yeah.
A little bit.
Just a smidge.
He did dabble.
She was legally dead. She just wasn't
It was
dead.
a weird joke. It was a very bizarre line.
That's a funny joke. Come on.
It was a bizarre line.
He's marked her as being dead.
What?
So, legally speaking, because it's all about, the bureaucracy, it is necrophilia.
I mean, you're not wrong. But I mean, what a way to get someone into bed. Be like, oh.
That is
fancy
necrophilia riz.
What?
No, we're not starting that. You can't bring out that. That is not the way we should start this episode. With necrophilia riz. No.
Thanks, logline. Joe. What about your little logline?
Right, I came into a bit of an issue when trying to design my logline this week, and that was I just couldn't think of one because the movie just confused me. So therefore, I decided to go a different route. Now, as we're all aware, this movie's kind of like a, dystopian world. All right. The paperwork took over, very dystopian.
Isn't that just today?
True, but I was thinking, what else is dystopian? AI. I know what you might be thinking. Oh, did Joe just use AI to make his logline? Yes
exactly
and no.
What I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I did use AI. However, I thought I would put AI to the test. And so I asked ChatGPT to create 3 hilarious jokes based around this movie. And I want us all to kind of indulge in them and see how funny they are. See if we have to fear
I feel like ChatGPT should get the point if you win.
Yeah.
But you see, this is like a test to see if we have to fear that one day ChatGPT will do their own movie podcast and we will.
They will. That'd be funny to listen to, though.
You say we'll be out of a job. This is not a job.
This is the farthest of
This is
fields from a
the
job.
opposite.
Anyway, all right. These are the 3 jokes that the advanced AI came up with. Okay. Number 1. Why did the bureaucrat cross the road in Brazil?
I don't know.
To get to the other paperwork.
Oh my god. To get to the other side of the paperwork.
Oh
my!
Well done, Ryan. Is ChatGPT?
I am bet. Fuck you,
Okay.
ChatGPT. I'm coming for you. Coming for your job.
All right. Number 2. Why did the man in Brazil refuse to use the elevator?
I don't know.
Work.
Because he wanted to avoid getting stuck in a bureaucratic nightmare. Wow. Wow. Good job.
That's more an observation than a joke.
It's a joke. ChatGPT
All right, Joe, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Funny.
All right.
All right. And finally, I saved the best till last. Okay. Why did the woman in Brazil refuse to use the phone?
I don't know, Joe. Why did she refuse to use the phone?
Was tapped.
Because she didn't want to get caught in a tangled web of government surveillance.
What?
Wow.
What?
Laugh out loud.
What is it? What?
That
so not only did you borderline cheat for your logline, the jokes were wank.
They weren't even good.
Yeah, but I didn't write them, so my ass is saved. There you go. That concludes.
Yeah, but your point isn't.
That concludes Brazil joke segment. Ta-da!
Well, there you go. Brazil, the joke
go.
segment. All covered. Thanks. Sponsored by ChatGPT.
You know, Karen, you have a chance to win this week.
Oh, man. I'm kind of coming up with it on the fly here. But I have a vague recollection of what it is. And I'm going with... Brazil is the movie when the governor from Pirates of the Caribbean takes too much acid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. I knew I recognised him from somewhere.
Yeah,
I
he's
put
the
my
governor
finger
from
on
Pirates
it.
of the Caribbean.
He is,
maybe
man.
not acid. What do they have in the Caribbean that's like drugs? In the pirate times, what was it, like the 1700s?
Rum.
What did they have? Rum? Yeah, maybe had too much rum. Let's go with that. Had a little too much rum.
Too much of
Brazil
the
happens. Of the ganja? I guess it is the
ganja.
Caribbean.
The marijuana.
Yeah.
The Mary Jane.
Let's get to the voting day.
I have another joke.
No.
Oh,
I'm joking.
No.
I joke.
Who won last week? Oh, it was Ryan. I can see the fucking little vampire in his thing. Ah! All right. Who wants to vote first then? Who's feeling it?
I will vote first.
All right, Ryan.
Hey, mine was an interactive experience this week. Everyone was involved.
I gotta say, I'm sorry, Cameron, but I don't. I'm not that familiar with the Pirates of the Caribbean films, so I don't know what you're talking about.
How have you ever seen the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Even though I've seen them, I just don't know the guy. I don't recognize him from the Pirates of the Caribbean films. So even though he kind of cheated and used ChatGPT,
son
to give it to Joe for his interactive joke
son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Interactive joke experience. I will say then, Cameron, you know, a man who doesn't know about Pirates of the Caribbean should not be winning no points. Just want to point that out there.
Don't do it.
So is it my go?
It is. It is your go.
I vote for Cameron.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Well, that only leaves me to vote. Now, I think I didn't appreciate the ChatGPT-ness. So I think I have to vote for Ryan.
You eat it, Joe.
Spin the wheel! Spin the wheel! Spin the wheel!
Spin the wheel! Spin the wheel!
Never get
I hate you both. You're reducing Logline Showdown to pure RNG.
Well, this is what happens. We need our fourth member.
We need a fourth
It's imbalanced to 3 people. It can never be decided
just needs to knock. Oh, it's remembered.
What?
Right.
I liked your one, right?
We
That's
need
why
a
I voted for
screenshot.
it.
And remember, if it lands on Cameron, he does earn a point.
I do get a point. This is my greatest chance at getting a point.
It might be rigged, but I win.
No.
Bullshit! He's won every spin. How?
The illusion of free choice.
This is bullshit.
Oh no, mate. Oh no, it's not the same picture. Fuck.
No. It was
Fuck.
so close to Joe.
Damn. Okay, well.
I even changed. Okay, I even spat again and changed the position of the names, and it came up with me again.
Well, there we go. Coming back in, Ryan's got his point. He's got his little Brazilian flag. Look at him. The wheel favoured him again.
We've been
Maybe
scammed.
I've been scammed.
We're getting
I
scammed.
created an interactive experience.
No,
Well, blame
ChatGPT
Cameron.
created it. Motherfucker. The part where everyone says what they thought about the movie and stuff. Well,
What stuff?
Where do we begin?
Where do we
begin?
Maybe the beginning.
It's a hot mess. This film, I'll be honest.
This is not a hot. Okay,
it is.
I will say,
how
familiar? But before we begin, how familiar are you two with the films of Terry Gilliam?
No one.
Okay, no. I will say Cameron. I will come to Ryan's aid once. Okay, He's the guy that made the Monty Python movies, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe he does some director work on it.
Yeah.
He is the guy who was the animator for Monty Python.
Yeah.
So he's never really on the.
Then no.
Films.
I thought he directed them. If he hasn't directed them, then no.
I believe he does.
I'm not very.
Yeah.
Regard it. Look, I like the Monty Python films, but they're like borderline. They're like wacky, but like they're borderline nonsensical. But that's the point. Whereas this is just I don't even know what was going on at any given point. I can't tell if they were in the future or the past.
No,
or what the fuck was going on. I know, but it was just strange.
It's so okay. I guess you have to go back to 80s computers, and given that he's kind of American British, fucking basically the ZX Spectrum is what you're going back to when you talk about this film.
Thing is, even 80s computers are more advanced than the stuff they were using in this, though.
It would just using goddamn magnifying glasses and mirrors.
You would just plug into your TV. That's what the ZX Spectrum was. You just plugged it into your TV.
Yeah, but that still looks more advanced than the fucking giant ass magnifying glasses they had, and were looking through to with typewriters.
To be honest, my first point, not even an issue, but I still, after finishing it, I can't put my finger on what genre I think this movie is. I know it's classed as a comedy, science fiction, but there was elements of horror in there. So I don't know what the fuck was going on in that torture chamber that they kept leading up to. Yeah. The goddamn baby things that were crawling on the ground. He's got them dream sequences as a whole.
Yeah, wild.
Were just bizarre.
They were insane. They were the ravings of a lunatic. They have to have been.
Yeah, he was a lunatic. Was any of it real? At what point? I know we're skipping to the end of the movie here, but at what point are we to believe that he went insane?
I think it's gradual throughout. Is the point?
You're goddamn right.
His dreams and reality sort of blend together, but it's also because he's just almost yearning to be free from this very totalitarian and bureaucratic system he's almost stuck in.
I'll be honest, I'd never heard the word bureaucrat before in my life, and I listened to it about 1 million times in this film.
Yeah, it's all about, it's a very, very anti-totalitarian film and very anti-bureaucratic film as well.
I always hate films like that because they're made by Hollywood, which is a very bureaucratic and totalitarian organization.
He's doing his own thing. He's fucking off on one.
What, funded by
He's making a couple of years before this films about dwarves and young children running around, fucking doing time heists.
What? Yeah. So I mean, I kind of gathered whilst I was watching it what the film was about. I was watching it. Yeah, I get it, but I I don't know if the message that it was trying to send was my cup of tea. I guess I don't know if I like films like that. If you get what I mean.
I agree. I like
But
the
not.
I
Like
like
I'm not.
the
It's weird because I'm not saying the film's bad because I feel like it conveyed the
yeah.
message and did what it was trying to do well. I just didn't like what it was trying to do. If that makes sense.
What?
Like I can.
No, I kind of get what
It's like when
what
you
you're
go to a
saying.
painting. Like, I look at the Mona Lisa. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I can tell it's a very like well-made painting, but like I don't care. I don't want to look at the Mona Lisa. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
I
I'm just
get
not
what you're saying.
interested in
I
that
can
kind of
yeah,
like,
She
I
keeps eye
agree.
contact no matter where you are in the room, Cameron.
I don't care.
That's true. It's
Exactly.
magic.
Like I can appreciate that they put effort in to make her
Yeah.
do that, but I just don't care.
Yeah, I understand why this film is thought of as like a
Yeah.
classic
Like
of Harry
I
Potter
get
film.
it.
However, it's just not my cup of tea, man. Like I actually quite like the whole
I think
setting
it
of
went
it.
too
Like the
absurdist
whole
because I've never been a fan of the Monty Python stuff either because they're too absurdist. I'm like, eh.
yeah.
What?
I know.
mean,
I just wasn't
I
raised on
like
that
the
kind of stuff,
whole
man.
dystopian feel. I really do enjoy it. For me, it was more of like what was actually going on. I didn't have a fucking clue up until like 20 minutes before the movie finished.
Really? I did not.
Yeah,
Okay, this is
like
not
there's
like
no
confusing.
explanation about the world. Like for my only issue is like, yeah, I understand that it's a dystopian, it's sci-fi, it's a bit bizarre,
Joe
but
needs his
there's
lore.
very there's very little like world building, like these different sections. Like, what is the fucking information retrieval? Like, what do they do?
They retrieve information.
There retrieve
Like,
information.
what information though?
I
On
think
people?
it
On
was
the terrorists? Are they
deliberately
like?
ambiguous to show how bureaucratic it's become, so like no one even
I
knows that it's
guess
part
so.
of
I
a
just
Yeah,
system they
it's
don't even
come just. It's
understand.
just like it's just to an absurd point almost
Mm.
of like, oh, it could never get there, but it could, sort of thing.
it will. The
It will.
paperwork,
Like-
man. Robert De Niro knew it.
Like at the start with the fucking, the interview where they're just talking about, like, what do you think about the terrorist attacks? Like, oh, we're cracking down on them, but it's been 13 years. Beginner's luck.
Yeah, that was quite good. They're worth funny moments. I'll give it that.
The
Yeah.
Some
comedy
parts
is
were just
very
a bit
on point.
too strange. Like the dream sequences just felt a bit out of place. And like, why is he like fucking flying around with wings?
Because it's freedom, baby.
No,
It's metaphorical and
it
that.
weren't freedom for me. I felt trapped watching it.
Joe doesn't want metaphors; he wants similes.
Yeah. What have I got on? Well, I got my notes here next.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
got the
bloody
notes. Get him out.
I will say, my first note is Wallace and Gromit. Okay, my first thought while watching this movie, that opening sequence where he's getting out of bed and the machine like makes his toes into his back.
Oh,
It was very reminiscent of what, but I know Wallace and
been
Gromit came out
before Wallace
after.
and Gromit.
Yeah. So Wallace and Gromit, that whole idea of the it just felt very much like that, and he looked a lot like Wallace. I'll be honest.
He does a
honest,
bit,
Wallace.
doesn't he? He looks
He
like a
did,
little goofy Englishman. Because that's what he. Oh, I say he looks like it. That's what he is.
He is a goofy Englishman.
Goofy little Englishman who was a governor of a town in parts of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. Yeah,
It's a strange one.
it was strange.
I don't even know what it is, but it's something.
So you guys, it seems like you two didn't even understand like just the basic plot.
No, we
I
did.
understood
You
the
weren't
basic
We just
plot.
didn't. We did. We just
Yeah,
didn't
it's
care for it.
Yeah, no, I understood the basic plot. Everyone works in like levels, and it's all about paperwork and bureaucracy and all this sort of stuff. And then the people that don't want to follow it are classed as terrorists. And then they have this whole mistaken identity palaver, and then it can't go wrong because they try to cover it up. And then he gets but like his decision making was just nonsense to me.
What do you mean?
Like, for example, like he got himself into this shit by, when he like tried to take the receipts down in person.
but no one else would, and they would have been left
Exactly.
with that receipt otherwise.
Yeah, but
Joe,
there's a
I don't
reason
think you
though
quite
for the house
understand.
would.
That receipt would have just been sat there, okay, and that would have been on that department. That receipt, that responsibility, okay, it would have just been there. All right, he'd have got fired. That dude probably would have got taken down and shot by Michael Palin. You know?
One of my favorite characters or duo, in fact, were the repairmen.
Oh my god! Yeah,
The guy that just like repeated everything the other guy said.
Yeah, but in like what, a Scottish accent.
Yeah, that was funny. And Robert De Niro. I mean, I did not expect to see him.
Yeah, he
There
was
was
just
quite a pretty all-star cast that I didn't expect. I kind of went into this thinking it was like a small like indie film type thing from the 80s. I
but
now
there
know
was
that
some pretty
obviously.
famous people in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you got like Jim Broadbent in there as well. Okay, now.
See, this is
You're
the kind of
saying
film though,
names.
where I need a second one. I need a sequel.
Sequel.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it ended fine, didn't it? Like he's just in
It had a
the.
bad ending. Sad ending.
Yeah, but he's happy in his dreams, Joe.
No, crazy.
I mean, I guess just tangenting off that as well. That final like almost dream sequence I thought was really well done, because you could sort of tell as well as it like progressed through the dream, you could sort of begin to tell that it was, just because it used dream logic so well.
Well, as soon as you got to the goddamn funeral part, that's when
Not even the funeral. It was when like he almost like just stepped through the door and
yeah,
into like the cabin, and it's like, okay, he's like, yeah, this is in his mind. This is going on. There's no way you just step through there. It's just that blink and you're there dream logic of you don't have to, no travel time, basically.
There's just a lot going on. I feel there's so many different things you could talk about. Obviously, you've got the main story, but there's so many little side things going on that like sometimes only seen like very briefly.
But that's
Like for me,
Gilliam, baby.
one of the weirdest like plot lines was the whole obsession with the cosmetic surgery. Like, what the hell was that all about?
Because they have to.
Surgery, innit?
I mean, like, yeah, like I got the message behind all the cosmetic surgery stuff. Like, oh no, but it's just like, what?
That scene at the party when the two like surgeons like were like trying to one up each other.
Yeah.
Like one of them's like a dwarf.
I'm pretty sure that guy was in Time Bandits. I think that's actually brought along.
Oh, that is a throwback film. I ain't heard of that.
One of them, the non-dwarven.
That's a Gilliam film, Joe.
Oh, is it?
The non-dwarven one was in Harry Potter. He was Professor Slughorn.
Yes, Professor Slughorn. Yeah. A better movie, some would say.
Ryan would not.
Who would say?
They had a lot of British. Well, actually, that's at least 2 British actors.
It's a British film, Cameron.
The woman is another actor.
British American.
I didn't know it was a British film.
Yeah, because it's got the guy who's by Monty Python, Cameron. Monty Python.
I'm very passionate about this film, I feel.
Yeah, I had a great time with this, dude. It's so much fun.
No, it was good. No, they were just no. I agree. It's a good. What?
You tried to agree with them, and then you disagreed with yourself trying to agree with it.
Well, it's like
no.
I liked it. I liked it, and I'd get in the flow of it, but then something would just curveball, and I'd just be like, "Oh, that's just dumb." Like, and maybe it is just the way he makes his movies. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a fan. But I mean, for me, a staple scene, and I'm just going to throw us into it because it's the scene that stands out to me the most in the entire film. Because it was just kind of a bit weird, and not weird in a good way. And that's when he makes it, and he's talking with his friend. What's his friend called? Jack.
Jack.
In his office.
Character.
Yes. And he talks to Jack in his office. He's given the file.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets given the new suit to wear, and he leaves him in the office, and the small child stands there and says the line, Get it off, big boy. I want to see your willy.
No, okay. I
felt a bit
I
weird
took
about
a double
that.
take at this as well. Okay, and
That was
she
a bit
does not
bizarre.
say that. She says
Yes, she
something
does.
like, "Don't worry, big boy. I won't look at your willy."
Oh yeah, that's it. But that isn't inclines that she very well will. And this is a small child, and I just think, like, somebody had to tell that girl to say that line, and whoever is responsible for that is a bad person. A bad person. And it just kind of like when I was sat watching it, when that scene came about, I just felt a bit like what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? And then the necrophilia joke. I mean, that's not. I was gonna say it's not as bad. It is kind of weird in itself, but I don't know. It's just bizarre, strange, very strange. But yeah, that poor little girl. And and then like but I did like the morbid humor. The morbid humor got me a bit. Like for example, that scene when right at the start when he goes to give the receipt to the family who lost
Oh my
the
god,
bottle,
yeah.
and they blow up his car, and the little girls, and he's like, "Oh, y y who are you waiting?" He's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for my dad." "Oh yeah, your father will be very proud of you." Then as he's walking away, he clocks like, "Oh, hold on a minute, you're the reason I'm here."
Damn you, Joe. Damn you. But yeah, there was just
Right.
a lot of weird things, strange things, perhaps.
Strange.
But
Very strange things.
it was fun.
It's interesting. I couldn't stop watching it, which is a sign of a good film. I was intrigued to find out what the hell was going to happen next, but then when it happened, I was just left confused. If that makes sense, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Somewhat,
And
yes.
but that's not a bad thing. Like I'm invested in. I don't. The fact I don't know what's going to happen is what I enjoyed about the film. The actual story and what was going on just left me a bit. Like I got some of it, didn't get the rest. Whatever. But you know, here we are. Anyway, that's enough of me talking. Someone else got to say something now.
No. I think you've got this, Joe. Talk about when he had wings.
Well, I've got a few points, but I'm waiting. I've got a few things to say when we get to like, the effects section. Okay, because
The effects, yes.
yeah, but
Oh.
Gilliam
Well,
effects.
I don't have anything else to talk about the film generally. If you want to move on to the effects, Ryan, do you want to move on to the effects?
Oh, let me think a sec. Oh,
He's
give me
thinking.
something.
He's got his
well, there's
brain.
one other scene. That comes to my mind that stands out.
I'm not really thinking scene. I'm thinking more just actually the bits in the bureaucratic buildings themselves. Those bits are great. Like where like when he moves into his new office and
Yeah, there's just so many odd
the desk
characters, isn't
is
there?
shared.
Oh yeah,
It's just being
that was
nabbed.
quite.
And
That
then he
was
goes
quite
into
funny.
the other room. The guy's like fucking grabbing the desk.
That was quite funny. There's so many odd characters that like pop up though. But yeah, the
Like
shared
who, huh?
desk was quite good. No, well, like him for example, the guy in the next office, he was just
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
And then the surgeon guy. I mean, even just what happened to? Oh no, he was left alive, wasn't he?
And the fact that
Who?
people just kept getting
The
fucking bombed all the time, and they were just like, it's chill. Or they just
Oh
kept
yeah,
eating their dinner.
This is another thing.
The fucking restaurant.
Yeah, he just got
Where
bombed.
it's just like a terrorist attack, and they're just ignoring it, and then they put like a little barrier up, like, "I don't need to see this, mom."
Actually, by the way, the food that they were
Oh my god,
serving.
the food.
What the hell was that? Surely, in any
I
dystopian
could
world, they
see.
should not be serving food like that.
I don't know. I
Oh,
could
it's beautiful
imagine
for looking
Ryan
food.
eating that.
I love how they had the little
Pick a
picture of
number.
what it was meant to be as well.
Yeah,
That
pick a number.
would be Ryan's peak existence if he could
You
just
have to
pick a
pick a
number
number.
and they
You
gave him
have-
some chub and he just
Sir,
devour
you
it.
have to say the number.
You have to pick the number.
Even the food's bureaucratic.
Goddamn
Wow.
chub.
That actually is what it is. The food, even the fucking food, is bureaucratic and just like
Everything.
reduced down to what it like almost just a flavor. Like no expression in it. It's just slop.
Got to sign, man. Got to get those signatures. I want to talk about the shit-filled soup.
Oh yeah, the shit pills.
Oh
I forgot
yeah,
that's
that
an
is like the
effect.
one bit I didn't like about yeah. Robert De Niro rocks up, fills their suits full of shit,
Did they die?
and then zip lines out.
Bro,
think
I'll
they
tell you what, actually,
exploded.
before we get to the effects, those zip line scenes were fucking wild, mate. He went like 1,000,000 miles an hour. He's just shooting off
It's the
somewhere.
future,
Never
Joe.
see where he.
Well, technically the past, since it said somewhere in the 20th century, and obviously we're in the 21st, so technically in
That's
the
true.
past.
Also,
Yeah.
I want to argue: is this film technically a Christmas movie?
Yes,
Because
it is.
That makes it so much worse.
I didn't know this. I would probably wouldn't have picked it if I knew. But yes, this is a Christmas movie. If Die Hard's a Christmas movie,
Yeah,
so
and
is
I argue
Brazil.
that Die Hard is a Christmas film. Therefore,
I
I
would
think I
argue
have to
this is
put this in
more
the same
Christmassy
boat.
than Die Hard.
I mean, they do.
It has
The fact
Santa.
that they have the at the end, the terrorist Santa,
Terror Santa.
but just the
Terror
whole
Santa
giving out
isn't
the
real. He can't
gifts
hurt you.
the whole time, and it's always the
Oh yeah,
same
and they
gift.
just keep
Yeah.
regifting.
It's just the same gift. There's one company out there has just made it with the gifts for everyone.
That's what you need.
Goddamn
I mean, it was a
fucking-
fun little gift. But hey ho, do you guys want to move on
Oh,
to the effects?
we can do if you want. Got a few things to say about
I can
that.
shift us on to the effects. There was effects in this. All right, so we're moving
Oh,
on to the
plenty of
effects
effects.
and stuff, but we mostly just talk about the stuff. Anyone wanna hit it off? Any effects that
The set
jump
designs
to
are
mind?
fucking great in the best
They
Gilliam way possible.
they are good. It is a very nice looking movie.
It has
I
its
like the
its
style.
own unique look as well.
Yeah.
I feel like
It was giving me the same kind of feel as a Never-Ending Story.
I was gonna say Life of Brian. It feels kind of like that to
No,
me.
I'm talking more like the dream sequence with like how, because obviously the way they shot most of the stuff, like when the pillars are coming out of the ground, they would have been like miniatures, so everything looks like weirdly off scale. But
True.
it
Yeah.
works, and yeah, it looked cool. However, I've got a few tripes with it, with the effects in general. Now I understand this is a movie from 1985, okay, but on numerous occasions I saw little blunders in their special effects. For example,
Oh.
in the first time you see the dream sequence when he's flying, you can clearly see the visible wires. All right, and I'm just saying, it kind of threw me off. You know, it's a dream sequence. Why would he be dreaming about goddamn safety wires, huh?
Joe, leave the
something to do with
wires
soup.
alone. Goddamn wire gate
No,
from
and
Brazil.
then second of all, the restaurant scene where it gets blown up.
Yeah.
It actually made me laugh. In fact, this kind of like made it funnier in a way. But not only have you got the whole bit with the waiter, and he's just hilarious anyway. But when the terrorists blow up the restaurant and the camera's showing the bomb blowing up, they haven't even tried to hide the fact that the table is just the room is filled with dummies, and it's so painfully obvious, and it annoyed me. But that's not a person. A nurse, not a person. Really
Why is it
got on my
annoying?
nerves. Because it got on
Joe,
my nerves. They didn't try to hide it. It was a blatant dummy. They didn't even put a wig on it.
Blatant or blade tint? Did you say?
they didn't need
put
a wig. They
on
just
it.
got blown up. It's fine.
Don't care. But it bugged me, man. Really bugged me. Bad special effects. 1985 Brazil. Bad.
Ryan, what did you think of the special effects?
I already said. I thought they were good.
Any in particular?
It's just Gilliam's style. Like that is, it's how it looks. it looks like you'd expect from one of his films, particularly of the 80s.
Yeah.
What about you, Cameron?
I mean,
You
there
haven't
was a
spoke a lot about this, Cameron.
what?
I feel like he hasn't watched it.
I
Yeah.
have. I genuinely did. What? No.
Right, Cameron, you're gonna have to sign to say that you have.
I can
We
do
need
that
to-
because
And
I've
then
seen
you're
it.
also gonna have to sign the receipt to say that
Yeah.
you've signed.
I was literally talking about the guy's suits getting filled with shit earlier. Like what? But
Yes, but did you
I
fill
did
out
like
a 27B-1 to make sure that you had actually seen that scene?
No, I filled out
Yeah,
Joe, I mean, Joe,
24.
I've got a 27B-1. Do you?
20.
one.
I
I got
put
a
out
27B-1.
24B
Did you
89.
perchance have a 27B-1?
No,
We'll be back.
you said
back.
C then B. You asked about two different forms.
There's
Anyway,
always
well,
more
because
forms.
Cameron,
There
the
was
C
actually-
is for Department ZXB, and the B is for the other department. You know, ZXB-C.
there was actually a point in this film where I realized I was like, there has been no scene in this where I was thrown off by weird like shit like CGI, and I've just been watching it and just like absorbing like the film. Like nothing has been like jumped out at me. I think it was when they were driving the truck through that like like the completely deserted like towards the city, and there was like all the like ads like, and they were driving between the ads so they couldn't see the outside, which is all like destroyed. When they're driving through that, I was like, there actually hasn't been a second where I've thought, oh, look at that shit CGI. It's all been like relatively like nice looking practical effects, just doing like random bullshit. And I'm like, I actually quite appreciate that. So I actually thought the effects were really good in this for the time when it came out. I was blown away.
Blown away, goddamn.
However, I'm not much of an effects guy, so it doesn't really alter my opinion on the film.
Goddamn terror. I mean, no wonder the terrorism has been going on for 13 years, though, because those guards have the worst aim I've ever seen in my life.
They just keep shotgunning next to them.
Yeah, they're just hip firing everywhere. They just shoot. Even if it's like not, they don't even know if that's the criminal or not. They just shoot him.
Yeah.
Can you say, literally, I found it so funny that just everyone had a gun in this film.
Oh yeah.
Like even Robert De Niro rocks up. He's just got a gun.
Yeah, you think he's like trying to rob them, and he's like, "All right, I'm here to fix. I'm here to fix your heating."
He's a maintenance man, and he's got a gun. What the fuck is going on?
Getting here to fix your fucking
illegal.
AC.
So, but why he was a fugitive because he was doing the work without getting people to fill out paperwork. Is that what?
Yeah, he basically didn't like all of the bureaucracy to do with. He just wanted to be like a repair guy. He didn't want all the bureaucracy, so he just went around doing it on his own.
But why was it called Brazil? Was it set in Brazil? That's what I want to know.
That's the reason for it being called Brazil.
It can't be just because of the song.
Why was the movie
Terry Gilliam?
Brazil?
It could just. I reckon.
Why do you think it's called Brazil?
The song, 100% just the song.
Fucking
Gilliam has no rhyme or reason.
Apparently, it's literally just named after the song because the recurring theme song. Yeah.
But why that song? Go pull up the lyrics, Cameron. Let's see if there's any like deep dive into what the songs.
What is
the
it?
song story tells.
Aquarela do Brazil. Okay. Aquarela do Brazil. Here we go. Let's find out. Lyrics. Where are the lyrics? Oh, the lyrics were there. Lyrics. Boom.
We are now a music podcast.
Music podcast.
Hell yeah. Oh, now I'm in Spanish.
Okay.
Brazil. Me Brazil Brasilio. Me mulato
Maybe in Portuguese, by the
inzonheiro.
way, Cameron's is fucking Brazil.
Portuguese, Spanish, same thing.
Same difference.
All right.
Yeah, so I have no idea
actually-
because they're not in a language I can read.
I liked how as well. I liked how as well during all like the chaos that like I don't know, like was there like a rich and there was definitely a rich and poor division, wasn't there?
Yeah. What do you mean? Of course, he literally went to the poor thing, his car got like destroyed.
But at the same time, like when at the restaurant and when at these other places, like it seems like the rich ones, when the terrorist attacks would happen, they'd be so unfazed.
Yeah.
Because it's been
Like,
30 years
they're
of
probably
terrorist
so
attacks.
used to it. Yeah.
But everyone out there, people be like dead on the floor, and then
Yeah,
like,
but you see it so they just see it so often. Like, this is basically a society that, because of terrorist attacks, has gone aggressively into like totalitarianism to the point where it's just unfazed. This is a daily occurrence, or this is just normal.
yeah, I guess you're right.
And it's like, are they? You don't even know if they're, the government's the one doing the terrorist attacks at this point just to keep control.
It's
It's been
almost
going on
as
that long.
totalitarian as driving virtual trucks, simulating actual truck journeys in a video game.
Almost. Almost.
But it's
not
so
quite.
fun, though. All right, next. I think next section. Do you guys we got anything more about effects? I think we covered the effects pretty well. It's just a pretty good looking 80s movie effects wise. Like, if we say that, people pretty much like envision, they can see what we're talking about. Anything else anyone kind of want to add, or do you want to move on to the acting section? Any remarks? Anyone? Ryan? Joe? Are you guys there? Have I left the Discord call? Am I talking to myself right now? Shit. Alright, and after some minor technical difficulties and a slight water and piss break, we're now steaming on into who was the acting goat and who was the acting stoat. Now, I'm actually going to find this one quite difficult because personally, I don't really know anyone who was the acting stoat. I actually thought everyone was doing a pretty good job in this.
Yeah, this felt like a stoatless film.
Yeah,
it
but
was
we
mainly
have to find
stoatless.
someone.
However, then I would say we'll go off the actions of a character.
Nah, we'll still do acting.
No,
We'll do
it's about
acting.
the acting, not the actions of a character.
Well, there was no actor that was bad, but there was a character that was bad.
I think there was. I think there.
He killed the fly. He ruined everything for everyone. He's the real villain.
It's true.
The guy that killed the fly at the start. He killed Mr. Buttle.
That's true. Anyway, but I think the acting stoat was the weird girl who has to not see his willy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Child actors are pretty much instantly always stoats.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it goes. It's a rare exception that they're not. And it usually has to be a film that has exclusively children in. If it's a film with adults and there's like a side child character, they will be the stoat. Pretty much. Guaranteed.
How dare you, Cameron?
What?
All about Short Round.
Short Round does. I said almost all the time. Short Round was a man at heart.
Yeah, he was short
and round.
But
I think to be fair, I want to say the main guy did a really good job, but I'm going to go with Robert De Niro, just like turning up, just being a little goofball. I think he was the go-to.
He was good.
Robert De Niro showing almost like a comedic side was great to see, even if his comedic side has arguably been underused in films ever since.
I mean, Ryan, have you ever seen Meet the Fockers?
Maybe this was the reason.
What?
Have you ever seen Meet the Fockers, Ryan?
Oh, he's so
I
good
haven't
in
seen
that
Meet
movie.
the Fockers.
That is where Robert De Niro is forced to have a humorous side.
Humorous.
It's not. They bank a lot on awkward comedy because it's always like, oh, we're meeting like my girlfriend's parents who I'm getting like engaged to, so I have to get them to like me. And it's like Robert De Niro, like the hardball like father who just like doesn't like the guy at all, sort of thing. Where he's like, oops, I actually spilled soup all over your dog or something, and then like he gets all like pissed off at him. It's that kind of humor, but it's fun.
It's that kind, yes, soup being spilt on dog kind of.
I don't even think soup is spilled on a dog. Just similar events take place.
Definitely spilled on dogs.
I
would argue, actually, though, an acting stoat for me, the woman that played Jane wasn't really cutting it for me compared to the main guy. Compared to the main guy, I can't remember his name. I should really have this pulled up for this.
Lowry.
Yeah, no, not
Yeah.
the actor. Yeah,
Jonathan Pryce.
Jonathan Pryce. Compared to how he was in this movie, she was just like, I felt like she was giving like a half-assed performance.
Yeah. Or maybe his performance was just so good, he makes a normal
Yeah.
performance just look like ass.
And again, like he is obviously the obvious contender for the acting go, but I also agree that oh my god,
Robert De Niro.
the Robert De Niro. I also agree that he was a pleasant surprise. I did not expect him to be in this movie because obviously I went into this completely blind, such as everything everyone did. But I didn't know that he was in it at all when he appeared as this like little fucking maintenance man. Like maintenance man crossed with like Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
I mean that tool that he had to unscrew everything. I need one of them.
They
That's goddamn
exist.
efficient.
They're real. You can get that.
Screwdriver.
Yeah.
Screwdriver.
We live in this movie, Joe. You can get
Oh
it.
my god. They make us.
You
like
can even
the
get. You
terms
can
and
even get a
conditions.
different coloured pipe.
They make us like the terms and conditions for everything. They make us accept cookies. Basically, receipts and signatures. And air ducts. Don't forget, the acting goat was the air ducts in this film.
What?
I've never seen so many air ducts in a movie ever. And
Yeah,
piping.
When his apartment gets fucking trashed.
Yeah.
Everything. They're goddamn everywhere.
You gotta keep the place cool, Joe, but not too cool. Not icicle cool.
You wanted to be icicle cool, though.
Well, do you think we've covered the acting? Do you guys
I've got
want
another. Another
He's
acting
got, there's
goat.
more.
One of
I
mine.
shouldn't have brought it up. I shouldn't have brought it
No,
up.
there can only be one goat.
No,
There can
I've
only be
got
one
another
goat. I've only seen
No,
one
I
goat and one
really
scout
like-
on my
We don't need a
screen
herd
right
of
now.
goats.
We do not need any more.
What do you call a group of goats? A herd.
A gaggle.
Probably a herd. A gaggle.
A gaggle?
A gaggle would.
A
It's
gaggle
probably
of
not a
goats.
gaggle, but
No,
gaggle.
come on. It sounds so good though. A gaggle of goats. Like it
Okay.
just.
Well, another. I also really liked the guy that played Mr. Kurtzman.
Ah.
He was one of my favorite characters. Like he was just so like, please don't leave. I can't let you leave.
Yeah, I'll lose my job without you.
That sums up most bosses quite well, I feel.
Oh, my Cameron.
Yeah.
Do you know who? Do you know who Mr. Kurtzman was played by? Did you recognize him
Yes,
from anywhere?
I did recognize him from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, he was Bilbo Baggins. An
Bilbo
older, yeah.
Baggins.
It was beautiful. I loved. To be fair, I
Isn't
think
it like
he does a
Ian
great
something?
job. Yeah,
Ian Holm.
he's dead now.
Damn.
Oh, great.
Yeah, he died.
It's
He
in
died like
Brazil!
he died like
Did
3
he
years
sign the
ago.
paper?
I think.
Sign the paper.
I don't know, but I actually always like his. I thought he was really good as
2020.
Bilbo. I thought he was really good in Alien. I think he was really good in this as well. He did a great job.
The trifecta of movies.
The trifecta of films: Lord of the Rings, Alien, and Brazil.
I will say that some of like the best scenes with him were with, where everyone in the office is fucking like watching films, and anytime he comes out,
Yeah, and they just all
turns off, and it's just coordinated. And even as well, when he's talking to Sam, you can just hear in the background Casablanca. You can. I don't think you guys have seen it, so you probably won't have picked up on it. But you can just audibly hear Casablanca in the background. Beautiful.
It's the way of life.
Attention to detail.
It's the way of that's what we do in our office. You should come work with me, Ryan. It'd be great fun.
Never.
Anyway, right. Let's rate this film then. Let's give it a rating. Let's see where we stand. I think we should start off with, I feel like, Ryan first, so we can see where he stands, and then me and Joe can kind of come in with some things here and there. Let's go with that. Ryan?
You dog cunts, you're gonna rain on the parade.
I don't think I'm going to rain on it. Like, I don't think it was a bad film by a long shot, so I'm not going to give it anything really low, so you'd be alright.
For me, this sits... It's not good enough for S tier. It is a bit messy, although that is just how Gilliam's films are. It's kind of part of the charm of them, is the mess of just ideas that he throws around.
Mm.
I thought it was a very, very funny comedy as well, and it isn't like cheap humor. It's quite, it's definitely very well written jokes, So it gets some like genuine laughs out of you. So I would put this in A tier for me.
So there we go with a little bit of sprinkling. Ryan is an A now. So there we go. Joe, what did you think of the film? Where would you put it? I feel like I can guess.
I
But I
would
want you to
put it. I think I enjoyed it. I'm going to end up just repeating what I've said before. I like the film. I didn't like some of the things. The look of the film interested me more than the story of the film.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's a
And
film noir show, or neo noir,
yeah,
accurately.
and it's also a Christmas film, and it's
Christmas in
fun.
July.
Joe doesn't like Christmas
and
films.
That's a real thing.
And for that reason, it's gonna have to be a controversial, but Dieter.
Ooh. Ooh.
That is simply a ghastly rating, Joe.
I'm just looking at some of these films that I know for a fact I've voted higher and that are in C, and I don't think this film tops any of them in the C tier. So it's D tier.
I think I preferred it to Banshees, to be fair. And the Hunger Games. Fuck the Hunger Games.
Fuck the Hunger Games.
See, I like the Banshee a lot.
Alright, so let's update that then. There we go. Joe's got a D. We're talking about dead mums in coffins. It's getting weird. So I think I'm gonna give it a C actually. I'll give it a C. So it's one higher than Joe, lower than Ryan's. Yeah, I think it'd be about a C. Yeah, I think it could nest in there. Because a few of the ones in C I've rated higher than C. So, like, I don't often rate things.
You shouldn't be using. This is
I know.
falling
I'm
into
not.
a trap. You should be using the films.
I'm not. I'm using my letterbox. I gave it 2.5, which is a 5, which would be in C.
Yeah, I originally gave it 2.5, and then I changed it to 3.
Yeah, but you've given it a D. So how's that working?
You two are fucking mental.
Because I just felt like giving it.
It's not. It's just, like it's like funny, but it's also got like heavily depressing undertones. It's not really my vibe. Not really my vibe.
Yeah, that's the thing. Anything that's got any sort of depressing undertones, Cameron,
it was a very depressing message. I was just like,
you to watch Leah Forever one day.
Why? I just don't want it. Just maybe watch a happy, fun-go-lucky film, Brian. Come on. I think it's because obviously I know Rogue One's got depressing undertones because they all die. It's a different type of depressing undertone. It's a different type. This is like nihilistically depressing, which is something I just don't mesh with, I think. Alright, yes, I give it a C. So, where does that actually put it at? Right, we're going to do some maths on this one, boys.
About a B. I'd say about a B.
It sits at 5.3. So that'd be
1, 2, 3,
C, but
4,
we round
5.
up, right?
I'm happy to give it a B. You've got an A and a C. I'm the only one that gave it a low score. I think a B. All
right. Yeah, that's fine. I'm willing to round it up. Yeah, so put it in.
Yeah.
Put it in B. All right. Well, there we go then. Using the power of movie magic, Brazil is nestled happily in B. Due to, I know the numbers don't really add up, but we had a little bit of a democratic allowance here. We were happy with it getting.
There was concessions from Joe.
There was concessions, reparations were paid, and it's nestled in B. But reparations were paid for the whole Transformers fiasco, and Ryan gave it void, and everyone else did not. Well, there we go. So yeah, Brazil. He's all right. All right. What's to know with Joe? Where we get to know what Joe wants to know. Joe?
Wow.
Never do that again.
I'm doing it every time, and it's going to get excessively worse each week.
Well, I thought I would follow up from my logline section and keep within the theme of dystopian worlds. And so I once again went to ChatGPT and asked them. I asked them to create a question that would really, help us break down the details of this movie, the specifics of this classic film. And this is what ChatGPT came up with. I hope you are both ready.
My butthole is clenched.
If Brazil was combined with the Muppets, would the film be a bureaucratic disaster or a whimsical wonderland?
Oh. I think it would be
an AI made that.
I think it would be a whimsical wonderland because
Why?
the puppets make it so it's not real.
Whoa! The puppets? No.
Kermit's real, dude.
The Muppet. Okay, they're a species.
What? I don't.
You goddamn.
Am I a
person.
man or a muppet? You never heard that song, Ryan?
No.
I know you're Spotify open right now.
I've heard
Listen
it now.
to "Am I a Man or a Muppet?" It's real, and it's got the guy from How I Met Your Mother singing it as well.
Which guy?
The Marshall.
Jason Segel.
Yeah. Am I a man or a muppet? Ah, my chair.
I reckon the film would be. You know that like clip of Kermit committing suicide?
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Miss Piggy gets taken off to the torture chamber.
What?
God damn.
I reckon Miss Piggy would secretly, she wouldn't be a terrorist, but there'd be enough fodder there to accuse her of terrorism.
Oh yeah.
Fozzie Bear would be the terrorist.
He would be the he'd be the actual terrorist. But
I think Fozzie Bear gives me the same energy as the main character of this film. I feel like they look the same.
I say who doesn't give me that vibe is Miss Piggy, because
Miss Piggy would be the mother.
She definitely doesn't remind me of.
Oh my god, yes.
Miss Piggy would be the mother, and Kermit. Well, Kermit would have to be the main character, wouldn't he?
Nah, he'd be Jack.
Yeah, he could be Jack. An animal. The drummer would be
the little girl.
No, he'd be. Fozzie Bear would be Robert De Niro's character.
Yes.
All right. Well, technically, that's what ChatGPT wanted to know.
That's what not Joe wanted to know, but
that is what I asked.
Joe wanted to know what ChatGPT wanted to know. So
exactly. Well, that's where we're at. That's where we're at these days.
That's the way we go. What, Joe? What do you think it would come out as?
I think it would be the Battle of the Christmas Movies, a Muppets Brazil or a Muppets Christmas Carol. What comes out on top?
A Muppets Christmas Carol in Brazil.
Oh,
but not Brazil.
Robert De Niro becomes Scrooge and the maintenance man. He helps out the poor, but steals
the ghost
their
of plumbing past.
He fights for the lesser off, but ruins Christmas for them at the same time. Anyway, let's move on. We have a new slide. Is Cameron?
We do have a new. I'm not gone.
Oh, he's here. Okay, sorry.
I'm here. I was just whittling around. Right. Yeah. So, new slide. So this is the movie we've got to watch next week, thanks to Decos and his infinite king wisdom. Knowing that he could basically trick us all into watching anime movies that we don't want to watch because we are forced to do it.
It's technically free, so
Yeah,
it's
so this is what we have to watch. Sword Art Online, the movie Progressive Area of the Starless. What the fuck is that title for?
It looks fucking terrible. I'm just
gonna be
putting it
awful.
out there. It looks awful.
This is not what I want to be doing. But I mean, my roommate will be happy. He's kind of a little bit of a weeb. I hope he can hear me right now because it was considered as an insult. So yeah, that's what we're gonna watch. I guess we'll let you know next week what it's like. I'm gonna put out a little feeler here. I'm probably not gonna enjoy it. I kind of don't want to enjoy it, so I feel like I'm already biased against it.
It's got a mountain to climb.
Yeah, so I mean, if I come out and say it's good, you know this film's really good.
It's not going to happen.
No, but it won't. So yeah, join us next week for that, or don't. We wouldn't blame you if you didn't.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Am I the only one here who's actually seen any Sword Art Online? Or is even familiar with it?
It sounds like a game. It's got online in the title.
Yeah,
I'm
aware it's an anime about a VR game.
I've seen like 3 animes, and that is one of them. And it was, I think they've added more since. So it'd have been like 2015. I watched it.
It'll probably.
It's literally just like a guy plays a VR game, and then everyone gets trapped in the game. And it's like if you take the headset off, you die. So they're just like all in fucking hospital on like tubes and shit playing this game.
Jesus Christ.
There was some, I would say, of Sword Art Online, there was some fucking weird shit in there. Like, the characters are like 15 years old, and they get married and have a kid. But like, it's not their kid. It's like an adopted kid that's like a ghost in the machine or something.
Nice. Well, I can't wait for that.
It's gonna be, yeah, I imagine it's gonna be weird. Apparently, it's at least what it said on Letterboxd, it's a reboot of the originals, of like the original series. So maybe it won't be too bad. I remember the plot not being complete shit. So
I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out.
That's a next week problem, not this week. So we'll see you then.
That's for future cameras.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for listening, folks. Yeah. So we'll see you next week. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit the little bell, comment any other film, because then we'll have to watch that next week. So please comment the film. Actually, we probably wouldn't because we've already committed to this one. So
we'll watch it the week after.
We'll watch it the week after. Yeah, comment, follow us on the socials. I think we got Instagram, we got TikTok. I think that's it. I don't really keep tabs on any of the others. But the TikTok's actually pretty good. Follow that one. I like that one. Instagram, I don't know.
Instagram's dead. The Decos isn't using games.
Yeah. So see you guys next week. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.